I move over. Is that better? I'm literally moving furniture for this. Oh no, that's terrible. Okay, we're still washing the cover. Sugar. How's that? Okay. Cool. I hate this. I'm not moving. That's it. That's it. Hi. As you can see, I'm in a new location. The lighting, maybe should I move like that? But I can't. I really can't. You saw the couch already. I don't even want to look at it. I'm now sharing a room. The housemate agreement, there are 4 of us living in this apartment, and the agreement was that eventually, so I think one of them's come home. She's going to get a lovely surprise when she sees me in here. Hey, I'm vlogging! Cool. So, yeah, I'm now sharing a room with one of the girls, Rebecca. The agreement was that when we got here, 2 girls would have to share for half a year and another 2 girls for the next half of the year. So I've had my own room for the first half, and then I share now with Rebecca for the second half. I forgot what it was like to share with someone. It's very interesting. It's only been a night, granted, but it's very different. It's just a matter of like remembering personal space and like, oh, there's someone else in here. Anyway, not the point. I moved furniture for this vlog, so appreciate. Cool. Okay, so what have we done? I haven't vlogged for a while, like a week. We went to Cinque Terre for the day on, not the Sunday that just passed, the Sunday before. Beautiful. We were really lucky and really fortunate to have really, really nice weather. Something that's really interesting, Cinque Terre is amazing. It's just beautiful. It's like every postcard you've ever seen. But on the way, driving on the way, and I've noticed this a lot of the trips when we're driving, because we usually go by coach. So on the roads, you sort of see really beautiful scenery, and you see mountains and cliffs and stuff, and there's just houses sporadically spread around these mountains. Like, I don't even know how you would get there or what they're for. People live there, obviously, but they're just random. And I think to myself, how do you get to the shops? That's my main concern. How do you do your groceries? You know what I'm saying? Pull that up a little bit. But yeah, it's just very bizarre. It's weird. And then there's like, you'll see like a cluster of 5 houses and then a church, and you're like, cool. So they got the priorities right. You know, you got to make sure you have a church in between the houses, and then I guess trek it 1 hour down to go to the village. And sometimes these houses are on their own for like 30 minutes by, driving, and you just see a random one, just one. Even how do they build them? They're on mountains. These houses are on mountains, like surrounded by forest trees. I don't understand. I'm sure there is the same thing in Australia, all over the world in fact, but it's very common here to have houses randomly, just randomly. And then I think to myself, how much land do you own? Do you have a single son? What? Who said that? The best risotto and spaghetti marinara that I've ever had. It was so delicious. They're obsessed with lemons, even in Cinque Terre. I thought maybe it was a south thing, because when we went to Santorini, it was lemon central. No, lemons all over Italy. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know. They worship lemons. But so beautiful, and the weather. And then there was this really beautiful dog that was just running around and swimming in the water, and this really handsome man was just like frolicking with a dog in the water, and I was like, stop it, and I'm filming. And then his wife is there, and I'm like filming him, and she's kind of looking at me, and I was like, what a beautiful dog. No, I wasn't looking at the dog at all. I kind of was, but very distracted. So yeah, Cinque Terre was really fun with Iseg. We're going on another trip tomorrow with Iseg to Portofino, Genova, and Monte Carlo, which I'm very excited about. I look forward to that. we leave tomorrow at 5 in the morning, so just has to get up really early and fix herself up. Great, 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 great. I've started tandem. I do, Chrissy and I do tandem with a lovely lady, Wally, that we go and see once a week. We try and go and see her once a week. And she practices English, I practice Italian. And I've started tandem now with another fella. His name is Stefano. He's so lovely, really nice. I think Italians are really surprised at how emotional I get over food. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. But I get very excited when they'll bring out a coffee, you know, if you order an espresso, and then they bring biscotti with it and you're like, oh my goodness. So I was saying to him that I missed a lot of Asian cuisines and sort of different cuisines, and he gave me a list of places to go to, so I'm going to try them. Christina and I, we found sushi. Happy days, happy days. If there was ever a description of a happy day, it's finding sushi in Bologna. And it's so good, and it's fresh. You order it and they make it on the spot. We've become semi-regulars. They recognize us now when we walk in. They're like, hello. And we're like, please, we'll just take a seat ourselves. We don't need you to usher us to a table. But it's delicious. How do I get onto that? Food. The tandem is funny because I make mistakes sometimes, and he has dogs, little puppies, and he was telling me the story about how he had to sort of feed them when they were growing up because their mother was very sick. And I don't realize that sayings in English don't translate very well to Italian. So I said in English because I thought, well, I'm not going to say this in Italian. Well, actually, no, I did. I said, oh, like he was talking about puppies, and I was like, come bambini, like bambini, like children. And he looked at me and he was like, no, I have puppies. And I was like, not again. I can't afford this every time. And I was like, no, having dogs is like having children. And he was like, And then eventually he was like, yes, I am like their mother. And I was like, yeah, okay, they're a lot of work. We got it, good. Note to self, don't talk anymore. Actually, funny story. Chrissy and I went to get a latte. Now, latte in Italian means milk, standard. So, where I'm from, back home, when you ask at a cafe, can I please have a latte, they already know to put coffee in it. Because you wouldn't just order hot milk. I don't think that that's a thing that people would do. But anyway, and I knew that. I know that. Like I've said it so many times to people. When you order a latte, make sure to add coffee in that if you're in Italy, because they'll give you hot milk. So he asked me, "Do you want a latte macchiato?" And I said, "No, just the latte's fine." Thinking that he asked me if I wanted a latte and a macchiato, and I was like, "No, do it latte." And he was like, okay. And he goes, do you just want it hot, just latte? And I was like, yes, please. I'm like, thank you. And he goes, okay. So he makes them, and then I sat down, or he goes to make them, and I sat down and I was looking at Chrissy and I was like, because she mentioned, I wonder if you can ask for a double shot of coffee. And I was like, coffee. I'll be back in a second. So I got up and I was like, scusa. I was like, c'è caffè nelle latte? And he goes, oh, you want it with coffee? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, I'm sorry, I was just making you hot milk. And I was like, cool. That'd have been really fun. So everybody in the cafe heard that and I was like, no, thank you. I'd like some coffee in that. So we had to fix up that little dilemma. That was another one of Jessica's little moments. But I thought it was pretty funny, and it was such a great latte, but it didn't have enough coffee in it. They're very different. It's very interesting to see how they do things differently here. And yeah, I still liked it more than, I don't know, I think maybe it's the coffee that they use. Maybe it's just that I'm in love with Italy. It's ridiculous. But what else? Yeah, a lot of stupid, Jessica does a lot of stupid things. This is not uncommon. I was talking to we were out for drinks one night, and I was talking to some guys over here that were from Modena, and they were just asking us what we do and stuff, because they can hear us speaking English, so they asked me what we were doing and who we are, sort of thing, and I was chatting to them, and then I hadn't had any drinks, so I was perfectly fine, and my sleeve got caught on a straw in the sangria that I was having, and so I just knocked it right off, and it went all over me, and they were like, oh, and I was like, oh, okay, end of that. That was the end of that, legit. They were like, we have to go to a concert, sorry, and I was like, because literally the second before I dropped it, they were like, what are you doing this evening? And I was like, oh, spill. And then they were like, you know what? We're busy anyway. I was like, cool. Great. No, so are we. I'm just going to go home and wash my clothes with the red wine. But yeah, silly duffer. Silly duffer. What else do we do? What else have we been doing? Oh, great. Big news. I did an Italian exam and I passed. I'm fairly sure I passed because of how well I spoke. No, but we had an exam to do. It doesn't really matter for us here when we do our exams. It's not a requirement that we pass them. It's just a requirement that we attend and we give it a go, I suppose. Because back home at my home university, they just want us to do our assignments for them. And the exams and stuff are sort of just more of an experience, and you have to sit it and attend classes. That's part of one of the assessments for my home university, but it's not a necessity to pass it. Still, the kind of person that I am is, oh, I'm not too worried then. Jokes, I'm going to study and really hope that I get full marks. That's just me. So anyway, we were studying for that, and because our subject was Religioni del Mondo Classico, we had to do stuff like ancient Greece and ancient Rome and talk about monotheism and polytheism in the ancient world, and I suppose contrast it between one another. So we were studying and making notes, and he was so lovely, our lecturer, our professor, so we emailed him saying that we were very nervous and we were stranieri and we couldn't really sit an exam to the best of our abilities because it's very hard. The content itself is very dense, and I actually love history, so I know a lot about it already and I've studied a lot about it, but in another language it's very difficult and the translation is very hard and the words are a lot longer and more intricate and you don't use these words in everyday language. So we emailed him saying, can we do an essay or something and just hand it in, or is it okay if we do it privately? Can we choose a topic? And he was very nice and he said to us, I will let you choose 2 topics to talk about briefly and you can do it privately if you ask me on the day. So this lovely professor, he's about, I don't know, middle-aged man, maybe close to his 60s, around about that. Anyway, he says to us, we get there, and I was a little bit nervous because it's an exam, but I wasn't too concerned. But he says to us, okay, you can do it privately. So we did privately, and he goes, what would you like to talk about? When I sat down, and I said, posso parlare su, on monotheism and polytheism basically, and then I said, can I also talk about myths and legends in the ancient world? And he goes, yes. So I started talking about the contrast between monotheism and polytheism, and I said that monotheismo, deriva delle parole greche. Grece? Oh, scusa. Aha! I don't even know what I said, but I said that it derived from Greek words and monos and theos, and he goes, Theos. And I was like, Theos, si. So anyway, and he goes, Theos. And I was like, oh, he wants, okay, Theos. And he goes, Brava. And I was like, cool, okay. So we kept going. But it was so lovely. It was actually a really cool experience to see how they do it, because we got to see another guy doing his before we started ours. It's open to the public. So we were watching him and they were just having a discussion. And I feel like that's something that I could do really well back in Australia, if that was a thing that you could do. I understand it's not for everyone, but I kind of like that idea of talking about something rather than writing exams and stuff like that and doing assessments. But anyway, it was great. And so he was really nice about it, and eventually he took over the conversation and just went with it. And I was like, great. And he starts telling me about the Indigenous Australians and their history, and I was like, you know more about it than I do. Cool. And I told him that I'd studied Zoroastrianism and ancient Persian society, and he got very excited, and it was just very funny. And then we got up to the top. I was saying that gods back in ancient Rome and ancient Greek times, they assumed human characteristics. And what am I doing here? And he goes, yeah, and he goes, they also had bodies, you know, and it was possible to have sex with these bodies because you can't have sex with a god, but you could have sex with the ancient gods and goddesses. And I was like, certo, yeah. And he's like, it's impossible to have sex without a body. He's saying this in Italian, and I was like, yeah, about that. I was like, this is taking a turn. So anyway, and then he asked me how I liked Italy, and I was like, I love Italy. And I said, thank you so much for this experience. And he said, sei carina. He said it was lovely. So I was like, thank you. So I said, right back at ya. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah, that was that. That was really cool. I got a 27 out of 30, which he was like, what did I give the other girl? I'll just give that to you too. And I was like, great. That's so nice of you. Thank you. And I just batted my eyelids and walked out. But that was a fun experience. And that night as well, to celebrate, and more so to do an assessment for Christina's assessment for our university, we went to the theatre. It was the first theatrical performance that I'd been to. It was a musical, and it was based on the story Love Story it's a book by Stephen Clark, and then it was a film in the 70s. And it's so funny. We got the tickets and everything online, and when we get there, they're just like, show us your ticket, and then they give you this little package, and it's got a little love heart chocolate in it, which was absolutely delicious, FYI. And then they give you literally a little packet of tissues. I have the tissues, hang on. That's that with tissues. Call it magic. Call it true. Great. So, cool. Now I gotta fix my hair again. Gosh, I'm so dramatic. Okay, so they give you this. It had a little chocolate in it, and it's got like a little. It gives you a little bit of background on what the story is, and then it gives you in prima nazionale and who's playing who and what characters. So beautiful. The singing was amazing. It was really gorgeous. I loved it. And then I was like, that's really nice that they give you tissues. I don't know how much I cried. The Italians are so emotional as it is, and they were making me cry when they were just crying, and then they were crying on stage. Oh gosh, it was just awful. So I understand now why they give you the tissues, because tears will be definite, pretty much. Funniest thing in this performance is that I'm not sure that this was in the book or the movie, but they included a song on pasta. Legit, there was a scene of them making pasta at home because it was their first time together. And then there was a whole song about fettuccine, spaghetti. I don't even know. I think Christina and I are the only ones laughing. All the Italians are like, grande, grande, bravissimo, bravissimo. And Christina and I are like, why are they singing about pasta? Okay. But it was pretty cool. I loved it. It was such a great experience. The theatre was beautiful. I'm going back. I want to make it a weekly thing. It was just really lovely. And that's about it. That's about it that's happened. That's pretty exciting. Mama comes soon, which I'm really, really excited about. I go for my summer travels very shortly, in a couple of weeks, in fact. So I won't be vlogging over that time, but I'll do a couple more before I leave. But I'm so excited. I will just cry. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know it is. But yeah. Cool. This lighting is so awful. When I edit it, you have no idea how critical I am. I'm like, no, it's not centered. No. Look, have I been this off-centered the entire time? I was supposed to be sitting here so that I could cover up this. My life. Grande. Cool. I'm gonna edit. And I will see you all soon. Ciao. I was like, did it work? Did it work? Evidently no. You have to see how I'm pushing this. Like I'm literally moving furniture. God, look at this lighting. You know, you think to yourself, oh God, it's awful. I'm just showing you how I'm actually moving furniture. Oh my God, I'm sliding everywhere. Whoa! That nearly fell. Great, I'm just gonna park you here.